Hello, hello, hello. It is Thursday. I do believe, let me check. Oh my lord. Let me check. I do believe today is, let me check me iPhone here. Me bloody iPhone, go check me bloody iPhone. Bloody hell, it's Thursday. It's June 22nd, 2023. It is now exactly 4:32 p.m. in the afternoon. I'm actually turning into a redneck as I talk to you as a Aussie British person, but never mind. It's a function of me brain cancer. Bloody hell, mate. You gotta make the best of what you got. So what I have today, right here, is I have this pizza. Now let me turn on some bloody lights so you can see it, because you can't see shite unless I give you some light. Anyway, here it is. Look at this amazing pizza. It is a mate's pizza with onions in it, and it smells amazing. Oh, absolutely amazing. Now what goes with pizza? Tell me what goes with pizza. You know what goes with pizza. Bloody hell, I gotta plug in this camera. Let me go plug in the camera. I'm about to lose my battery. Here we go. I've done it again. I'm a genius. I'm telling you. Somebody better arrest me and put me in jail. I'm dangerous. I might make me a bloody submarine. Oh God. Alrighty. Now this here is Stella Artois beer, which I like the taste of it. I'm sorry, I don't much like the company that makes this, but there's not much I can do about it, because Heineken is very strong to me, to my taste, and I'm not much about a Heineken, but I will, if this tastes like bloody hell toad jam sewer water, I damn sure will go get me some Heineken no alcohol beer. Now, alcohol beer is kind of like drinking soap suds, you know. Why the hell would you want to drink non-alcohol beer? But I just want some beer. I want some taste. I want some beer taste. I can't have my bloody leg blowing up on me like, well, I can't, mate. You know, mate, I feel sorry for all five of those pizza people, for all five of those pizza, indeed. Those people on their sub, because it didn't have to happen. Bloody hell, it didn't have to happen. But, you know, we got people who think they're smarter than Mother Nature. And when you think you're smarter than Mother Nature has a tendency to slap your back. And you pray to God that when she slaps your back, you're standing up and you can have enough room to fall over and break your fall. But these blokes didn't have that. These blokes didn't have any of that. And he got lucky. He got lucky a lot of times. Bloody hell, mate! I've got to go get me a bottle opener. I'm trying to not be vile in me speech, but it's coming to me, let me tell you. I've got to have this pizza. I can feel I'm a little bit parched, so I'm going to have some of this. I'm going to have me a slice of pizza. I want to talk a little bit about this here sub that blew up days ago. It sounds like. Bloody hell, mate. You're going down in the middle of the ocean. There's so much pressure down there. Why in the bloody hell would you build something and not test it? Why? 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 Hello. There's Poopy. I've got little Poopy in here. Okay. I used to have a really nice bottle opener. I used to have a bloody nice bottle opener. And of course everything, the gremlins take everything out of my house. I'm always chasing the damn gremlins. wherever they take stuff. But anyway, so be it. So, there's that. I have opened this, and I'm going to take a swig and see what it tastes like. Tastes just like Stella Artois beer. It's not bad. Let me tell you. It's not bad at all. That's why I bought it. Like I said, don't much like the company that makes it, but bloody hell, mate, I'm not going to drink sewer water if I can help it, you know? I really have to wonder if I drank this in front of a state trooper at a stoplight, if he would pull me over and charge me with drinking while driving. And it is an open container, but it's not alcoholic beer, but it is a beer. So what would be the ramification of such an act? Would I be branded as a criminal? As someone who has to be arrested and taken away? Bloody hell, I hope not. I'm not going to go try that. I have too much respect for my blokes in blue. Honestly, they got a job that nobody wants to do. Dealing with crazy people like me who speak English and then mangle English. So, more power to them, you know. I mean, every time I've ever been pulled over, every time I've been arrested, and I've been arrested a few times, I deserved every time. I was being a nonce, an idiot. An idiot. I was being an idiot. I don't want you to confuse the word I'm using, because you can go two ways with that word, and it's the other way's no good. Always being an idiot. Anyway. So here we are, days later, finding out that this sub did what all of the people. I'm going to put a little bit of crushed red pepper on my first slice of pizza. I have a pair of glasses on here that's a little bit, a wee bit sick, but I like the way they fit on my face. And it's got one earpiece and it has one open piece. Alrighty, let us see what this here pizza is going to taste like. I'm going to pull it up gently. I'll show it to you. Look at that pizza. I've got to tell you, me mate at the end of the street, he makes a hell of a pizza. He really does. I'm really proud of that place. That's why I go there. Because if somebody does good work for you and you don't go to them, they won't be there. You know? You can't buy an excellent pizza on Amazon, for Christ's sake. Forgive me, Lord, for using your name in vain. But it's true. I might have to dispose of my glasses because I think they're going to fall off in my pizza. And I don't want glasses in my pizza. Anyway, so at 12 o'clock today in the USA, on the East Coast, they just closed it. They found the places of this sub on the ocean floor. And I have to admit that I was kind of hoping that this was all a scam. That the man behind it, Stockton Rush, was just floating his little sub under his boat and waiting to magically come back to the surface and to scam us all to tell us how wonderful his boat is. Because I much would have preferred that to what we heard today. Because what we heard today was terrible. And what we heard today was exactly what every other submariner was warning him about. They were telling him this was going to happen. And of course, he was smarter than everyone. He's smart. He's a visionary. I could not believe that when I was hearing that. My ears was burning. A visionary. What I really feel bad about this, to be honest with you, is I do feel bad about the 4 people who lost their lives. And I do feel bad that Stockton Rush killed himself here. But another part of this that I feel very bad about is the technology may be sound. He may have had a brilliant idea. He was just in too bloody much of a hurry to make money. They told him to test it, they told him to test it, they told him to test it, and he refused to test it. He refused to do the proper testing. Hell, he was taking money for trips and he wasn't giving people trips. They were suing him for the money. They wanted their money back. To their credit, they weren't taking him out when the thing was blatantly unsafe. But the thing was always blatantly unsafe. Anyway. If you have a lot of money, it doesn't change the condition of your life. You can still die just as fast as the poorest person on the planet. You haven't been given a credit card that you can ignore the laws of nature. And that's for me too. Right now I want to buy me a motorcycle. But I'm an old man. And I've had a few motorcycles. And I've had a few motorcycle accidents. I've been very lucky. Very lucky. And today people here in the United States, they don't look at where they're driving. This is what they drive. This is what they drive in the United States behind the wheel of a steering car. Steering wheel of a car. That's what they drive. It's insane. We just had a wonderful actor named Trent Williams, a wonderful guy. I watched him. I grew up watching his shows. He's one of the good guys. He was riding his motorcycle. Lady didn't even see him. Turned right in front of him and killed him. And that could happen to any one of us. Any one of us. Lady wasn't trying to kill him. I didn't know what the sex of the person driving the car was, so please don't assess it as a woman crime or a man crime or a trans crime, whatever you want to call it. It was just a case where the driver didn't see him. turned right in front of him and killed him. And somebody on a website that I was looking at, the first thing they said was, this right here. Somebody was driving their cell phone, they weren't looking where they was going. Might have been the case. But that doesn't change Mr. Williams' fate. And that's something I always think about in my mind. All the times I've flown off a motorcycle when I wrecked it, or I got hit by a pickup truck, which I did once. Or I flew over the hood of a Dodge Dart, which I did once. Or I slammed my ass into the ground, which I did once because I came off the ground, the side of the road. I tried to get back on the side of the road. The rear of my bike locked up on the asphalt edge, and right down on the side of the bike I went. Luckily, I pulled my leg out. I had a good helmet on me, which I always have a good helmet on me, a good full face helmet, because I like my jaw where it's at. So people don't understand about them little pot hats that they wear. The little pot, the little round pot that doesn't protect your face. Handlebar does wonderful things to your jaw. It really does. It does a wonderful. It's just like getting hit in the face with an aluminum baseball bat. As hard as it can be, you can be hit. And I got to tell you, I do see the meaning behind people going down to see the Titanic. I really do. I can't think of anything more wonderful than be able to say I looked out that 10-inch thick window and I saw history. I saw history. Actually confirmed. I saw the rail. I saw the chain across the deck. I saw the hatches on the side that was open when they was trying to get out. But the place where she lies is deadly. It's deadly. It's not a place to take anything for granted. Now, there's something that everyone needs to know about the reports of this craft. And everyone who went down before and will go down after, because people will go down again, probably for research reasons. I don't think we'll see any tourists anymore down there. But all the people who went down there repeatedly. Now, James Cameron went down there repeatedly 33 times and came back safe. And people would say, well, that's because he's rich. No, because he's smart. Not because he's rich. Because he's smart. And he went and he got smart people. And those smart people went and got other smart people. They didn't give a bloody hell what their age was or what their race was. They wanted people who'd been down there before. And they built submarines that would last. That would take you down there and bring you back. And they had numerous communication systems, numerous environmental systems, numerous safety systems. But sadly, this Ocean's Gates submarine didn't have any of that. They had a bare minimum of everything. I could not believe that people would let themselves be bolted into a carbon fiber tube with 18 bolts. But wait a minute, guess what? They left the top bolt out. 18 bolts along a flange that keeps you alive, and they left the top bolt out because they couldn't reach it. And they were so arrogant they thought that was okay. Do you understand how arrogant that is? Do you understand the challenge you give to Mother Nature when you do something like that? Indeed, that is the challenge that the makers of Titanic made to Mother Nature about the ship that they built. You know, there's an old American ad, and I know you know what I'm going to say. It's not an insult. But you don't mess with Mother Nature. You just don't do it. You have to prepare. You have to respect her power, because she will slap you down. It's the one thing that... This is the one thing I want to tell you about all the people who go out in the ocean. And this is something that you will see on anyone who's spent decades on the ocean, is that they respect the power of the ocean. It's something that's been in humankind ever since there's been humans. The fact that we cannot control nature. To survive it, you have to adapt. You have to be ready. And when things get really bad, you have to retreat. If you can, sometimes you can't. Sometimes if you're out there in the weather and it goes crazy, then you have to use whatever strategies you can to go over the waves straight and survive. But this man was a fool. He was a fool. And he was a very convincing fool. And he convinced a lot of people to go with him. And some people did successfully go down to the Titanic with him. But the statistic I heard was, out of 5 trips, only 1 might make it down there. People are starting to come out now and say, because this is the nature of our litigious society we live in now. You can't speak ill of anyone without getting sued. Even if you tell them the bloody truth, even if you tell them exactly what happened to you and why you believe a certain thing, they'll sue you into the ground. So that's why nobody came forward until they realized that nobody's coming back. One gentleman said he went out there and he talked to him and he looked at the sub and he asked questions. And one of his number 1 questions was, where is the redundancy? Where are the multiple systems backing up system after system? So if you have a failure and you have a second failure, then you have a third system. And they just kind of looked at him. And I know what they did. They appealed to his manhood. Don't be a coward. Don't be a coward. You're making history. This is a bold adventure. Now, if you want to look at something, well, first off, let's look at the environment. At 12,500 feet under the sea, the weight of the water is so heavy on the craft that a pencil-sized leak can cut through a human being like a laser saw. And this is the danger at that depth, is that once the leak starts, nothing stops it. And it just gets bigger and bigger. Now, with the steel craft, you have a wearing away feature that you can get time to stuff something in the hole and stop the leak. But that's not how it works in a carbon fiber craft. Because what you got to understand, and I don't think Stockton Rush understood. The carbon fiber is a beautifully strong material. Beautifully strong. It's a wonderful modern product. And the way that this material works, the way that it gets strong is, you spin it around in this direction, then you put carbon fiber in this direction, then you put carbon fiber in this direction, and then you put carbon fiber in this direction, and all the time you're wrapping this. You're trying to get this in a situation where it's tight, no air bubbles. And when you put this resin on it and you bake it in the autoclave, you gotta have something big enough to put it in that you can pressurize. So what that does is when you pressurize it, it pushes the epoxy resin into the carbon fiber and bonds it all together. It's a beautifully strong technology, but it is not very forgiving to expansion and contraction unless you make it that way. Now I don't know how you're going to make it that way. But if you think about this, if you think about this craft, and you think about the many times it went down, and the many times it came up. Now, here's something I want to tell everybody about this particular craft. And what all these other subs, they were talking all about, oh, other people went down there, other people have been down there all the time. Yes, indeed, they've been down there. Yes, they've been down there. They've been down there in professionally made heavy-duty submarines. My knucklehead is running around after something. I don't know what she's running around at. She'll probably be up here soon. The dominant shape of all deep sea devices, and I'm talking deep sea here, I'm not talking about submarines, because people get confused. They hear submersible, and then they hear submarine, and then they hear deep sea. They think they're all the same. They're not the same. There are classes. Now, you're seeing a lot of submarines, and they are submarines, and submersibles that are privately owned, that go under the ocean, but they only go to a depth of, say, 100 to 150 feet. There's good reasons for that, because as you go lower in the ocean, the pressure gets more and more and more. It gets very dangerous. This is another thing. A lot of submersibles do not have environments in them. They actually let the water come in, and you stabilize, you equalize. It's the same thing as having a scuba gear. You're essentially sitting in your scuba gear, being driven around the ocean. So there's a lot of different. When you hear the word submarine or submersible, a lot of people like to cite the ones that only go down 150 feet. But now there's a second class of submersible that goes down to like 500 feet that works in deep sea oil rigs. Now, they're blokes that work in that. They go down for 28 days in a row.
And the reason is because if they go down and they stay down there, they don't have to be decompressed, except when they come up. The reason is because the nitrogen in their blood will boil if they come up too fast. So that's another class. You have the leisure class that goes down 100 feet, and then you have these working class that go down 500 feet. Then you have submarines, genuine submarines, like all the navies of the world use. And they can go down pretty deep. But they can't go down to the depth of the Titanic. Because if they do, they explode from the outside in. It's called implosion. And everybody dies. It's the most scariest thing any submariner can deal with, is having the ballast tanks full of water and not being able to get the water out because of a valve malfunction, and the sub just keeps going down and down and down. It's a certain death in certain parts of the ocean. So when you get to the depth of the Titanic, there's no place to play. You got to take everything serious. And this guy didn't take it serious. Stockton Rush was a very smart man. I don't begrudge him that. But he was ignorant. And he insulted the sea, and he paid for it. You can't do that. You have to take everything serious. There's no place for saying no to certification. There's no place for that at 12,500 feet. There's no way in hell this man should have been allowed to take that piece of crap down. Until he had tested it 50, 100 times and brought it up, he cut it apart, and looked at what happened on the ends. Because this is the thing I wanted to get to was how the sub was made. The sub was a carbon fiber tube with a bell end on each side. Essentially, what he did was he took the sphere, which is the strongest structure in engineering, which is the sphere. And that's what most deep sea submarines use, is the sphere. And he cut it in half. It went like this, made a carbon fiber tube, and he connected the two spheres on the end with epoxy glue. Now, if he had only decided to go down 1,000 feet, maybe this would have been a great idea. Maybe this would have been a real moneymaker. Because the end of the craft that he made was the end of that was only specified for like a third of the way down. And they told him that. The makers of it told him, said, we can make you a better one. And he said, don't worry about it. But it's a damn shame. Just a damn shame. I was trying to tell you about the bloke that said that he wouldn't say why he didn't go on the sub. That was yesterday, but today he said it because it was pretty clear nobody was coming back. What he said was it was dangerous. Dangerous in a way he was not willing to accept. That the obvious risks that he was looking at were not worth the risk. And he told Stockton Rush he would pass. So I will not conflate these people with true explorers. No, I won't. No. They were not true explorers. They knew exactly where they were going. They knew the conditions they were going into. And they did not prepare accordingly. And those who used their money to finance the trip are just as guilty. He wouldn't be going down there for free. No, he would not. Nope. The thing I really would like to know is, how the hell did he get insurance for that operation? Was it through Lloyd's of London? Is Lloyd's of London on the hook for this now? And how the hell did he pay for it? Because an insurance policy like this on a craft that is a special off one built, it should only have test pilots in it. This was something that was brought up during this couple of days, which I thought was very telling. One of these blokes that works for a submarine, a genuine submarine company that makes genuine deep sea vessels, said, this vessel should have been tested. This vessel should have been piloted only by the personnel testing it while it was testing. And the thing that gets me is, hell, you got controls on it that can be automated. He could have taken that thing down to the Titanic by itself. You know? It could have gone down there by itself. And sat down there and blew up empty. It was going to blow up. But he wasn't going to test nothing. And now 5 people are dead. Don't ever take Mother Nature for granted. She wins every time. I'm telling you. She wins every time. You think you can jump off the roof of a house and not break your legs? You think you can ride a motorcycle at 150 miles an hour and someone's not going to cut you off? The cost is so high and so permanent, it's not worth it. Now, if I wanted to go down to see the Titanic, I would certainly go in a sub that was made of steel, made by people who had already been down there repeatedly and proved that the craft was safe. And it would have to be certified. It would have to be certified. There would have to be independent agencies who looked at the design and looked at the way the craft was made and said, we're going to put our stamp on this, this is good. All things considering, this will get you down there and back. But don't expect it to be a painless or excessively safe trip anyway. And that's the thing people don't understand. Not only is it a pressure-filled environment, it's bloody cold as hell. And there are currents around the Titanic that can drive you into places like where the props are and kill you. There's a story of a man that was a reporter, but he's also a scientist, a Dr. Gillian. And he recounts his time going down on a Russian sub to the Titanic and seeing it and being amazed. And his Russian former MiG pilot, Victor, who was piloting the sub, went around, they saw the front of the Titanic, they went to the other end where the back end of it was, and they moved around to see the props. They were amazed, and then the most amazingly bad thing happened. A deep sea current pushed them directly between the props, the huge brass props, and the hull of the Titanic, and wedged them in tight and kept pushing them there. And Dr. Gillian the first thing Dr. Gillian said he did was he made sure that he didn't lose his mind, because it's not hard to lose your mind in a case like that. You know where you're at. There's no escape. He said that there was a hatch above his head, and that he told himself, don't grab that hatch, and don't let nobody else grab that hatch. And that's what they told him. The Russians told him when they were training him, said that they had a guy who became unstable, and he unloosened the hatch and instantly killed everyone on the ship, including himself. But Victor, his sub-pilot, fought that sub for an hour. For an hour. An hour. Dr. Gillian had ran through all of his scientific protocols that he could help, and found that he couldn't help Victor do anything. And he said he heard a voice clear as day. It said, this is how it ends. This is, I think he said exactly, this is how you end. This is how you end. And he sort of accepted that. And then, like a miracle, Victor got the sub loose and they got up to the surface. Very important to understand that this was a Russian sub that was built with a sphere in it, that was built strong as hell, that was certified, that was a genuine bona fide sub meant to be down there. Not some experimental carbon fiber tube with some caps on the end of it. With a gaming controller to control it. Now I know that people have said, oh, the Navy and the Army, they use these controllers all the time. Yes, they do, but not on vehicles that go down occupied with humans to 12,500 feet. They don't do that like that. Certainly they don't use a Wi-Fi connected controller. They use a wired controller, because you don't want to have to depend on a radio signal to move your craft. I don't know about people. I just don't know. I was so hoping this was a scam. I was hoping he was just doing this to be cute and put the sub under the boat, and that he would arise like the phoenix. But it was not to be. Anyway, this pizza's pretty good, I gotta admit. And this is pretty good too. This Stella Artois alcohol free. It's pretty good. I don't feel my leg hurting. I'm probably gonna go get another one of these beers. But I think this video's done. Pizza's excellent. I'll get another piece here. There you go. Delicious. The onions really put a coup de grace on the taste. Love it. So I just wanted to tell you to please be careful about the risks you take. I do ride a bicycle. I haven't rode it lately, but I do. And I do have a helmet that I got from Walmart down here for $30. And I'm pretty good about putting that helmet on every time I ride it, because it takes nothing to damage your brain. It really does. A simple impact can damage your brain. So please protect your brain. Please be careful what you're doing. Be safe out there.
And if you're going to go into an environment that is so hostile that, I'm going to close this, she's going to jump on it, that is so hostile that it's just completely insane. He got lucky a lot of times.
Hey, he was like, out of my cave. And so...
That's my knucklehead. She turned on the computer. But he got lucky a lot of times. Then he didn't get lucky. It only took once. And I think what happened was the carbon fiber tube. When you have a tube like this, then you have end caps. And you have them made of two different materials. Every time you go down into this kind of pressure, this pressure does not push down. It does not push up. It does not push sideways. It pushes in all directions. It pushed the caps in to the carbon fiber tube. It squished them, tried to squish them flat. The carbon fiber tube, if you looked at it on a stress diagram, computer stress diagram, it would look like a bugle on the ends. It would be narrow in the middle, and it would be wide out to where the caps were. And then when the sub came up, the carbon fiber would expand back in the middle, and where the carbon fiber went into the caps would again push itself back into the grooves of the caps, had the epoxy in. So you get this kind of motion on the cap ends with the epoxy. And if the epoxy ever gets dry and becomes inflexible, you wind up with a breach, and you don't get a choice to patch a breach at 12,500 feet. You die. And that's what happened. So, rest in peace. People who didn't take Mother Nature seriously. And please don't yourself not take Mother Nature seriously. She always wins. She always wins. Mother Nature will always win. Be careful. We appreciate you. Thank you for watching the video. I hope I didn't insult anyone with this accent. I just felt like talking like this today. Don't know really why. But have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful Thursday and a wonderful Friday. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.